Welcome to the SALT Sideline Report. I am Leanna Haakons, and we are here at SALT New York with David Lebovitz, Executive Director at JP Morgan Asset Management. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Good to see you.
So you were talking today on a panel about opportunities in private equity and the credit space. Your role at JP Morgan is to deliver timely economic and market insights to clients of JP Morgan Asset Management. Tell us about your role there, and then maybe we'll talk a little bit about the things that you spoke on your panel today.
Absolutely. So the first thing I'll say is they try to keep me as far away from the products as possible. They try to keep our research as objective as we can. And so our flagship publication in the alternative space is something called The Guide to Alternatives. It's about a 60-page chart back, very much a top-down view across real assets, so real estate, infrastructure, transportation, obviously private equity and private credit as well, in addition to the hedge fund universe. So very much a mile wide and an inch deep. But what I find so interesting is that in a world where public asset returns are expected to remain under pressure, more and more clients are coming to us saying, can you tell me about what's going on in alternatives, either because they're not very seasoned when it comes to investing in that space, or they haven't done any investing in that space up until this point.
And that's where your team's research and information becomes really valuable to those people looking at the space?
Exactly. So we try to provide asset allocation research. We try to provide kind of trend research to really help people see through the noise, simplify the complex, and see the present with clarity. You know, we don't really think this is about forecasting the future. We think it's much more about, evaluating what's going on and making investment decisions in real time.
Right. And for those that might be seeing this video down the line, talking about these opportunities and potential in the space that you are obviously an expert in, what were some of the key takeaways that you've heard at SALT today and on your panel?
So, a couple of things. I think that there is, generally speaking, a need for diversification and a need for income. And so that's when a lot of our conversations tend to gravitate towards things like real estate, infrastructure, transportation, so on and so forth. You're effectively getting credit-like yields with low to no correlation to equity markets. On the other side of things, you have the return-enhancing assets, things like private equity, as an example, where we think U.S. large-cap equities will return something to the tune of about 4% over the next 10 to 15 years. That's not going to be sufficient to help most investors accomplish their long-term goals. And so going into that marketplace, understanding not only where the deal flow has been and where the opportunities have been over the past couple of years, but more so in the aftermath of the pandemic as we pick through the rubble, trying to identify those opportunities going forward to, again, help investors achieve those long-term results.
And going forward, looking at 2022 down the road, what is the one area that you would point investors to, retail investors or institutional, in your space that you think is going to be a huge opportunity for 2022?
I think you need to look at real assets. I think people look at the bond market today, and effectively it's broken. You can get one of two things from fixed income in the current environment. You can get protection without income, or you can get income without protection. And what clients really need are both. And so things like real estate, again, infrastructure is really interesting to us given the inflation protection it provides. Real assets in general, I don't believe in silver bullets when it comes to investing, but I think this is as close as you're going to get in the current environment.
I agree. And thank you so much for your insights today. You are an expert in the space, and we're very glad to have you here on the Sideline Report.
Thanks for having me.